Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session. This is our third, guest. Karthik is our third guest here today, and many of you might have already known him. I think his recent, LinkedIn live series as well, High Own Stories, was making a few rounds, with all the marketers around LinkedIn as well. For those of you who don't know, Karthik is someone who carries almost like 2 decades of experience in the industry. He has worked with industries of all sizes and shapes, and he's a very passionate marketer who keeps himself updated with the latest advancement in the industry and blends the rich experience, from the past as well. It's a unique combination, and we're all going to benefit from what he has learned and he has practiced over the years. And Yep, Karthik, I'm really excited to share the screen space with you. Any words from you before we get started?
No, thank you. Thank you for that nice little talk that you gave. Been in the industry for about close to 16 years now, across different industries. But yeah, essentially marketing dawned on me, if I may call it that way, about 8 or 9 years back when I was in Cognizant
That's nice.
B2B setup. Yeah, that was the first time I got introduced to the more formal concepts and how you use marketing. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed uh, my stints across the industry in Cognizant and Accenture. Last couple of years, 3 years, I've been working with B2B startups, and now yeah, I work with Picmaker, which is one of Animaker's products in the design space, in the DIY design space. Yeah, it's been a superb journey as well here. And
Oh,
thanks for having me. Sorry.
I think I was afraid that you're going to miss that. It's kind of the standard, norm which people start with. Thanks for having me in this webinar. Uh, but yeah, equally excited on the same, Karthik. Without that, I'm just gonna get started. I'll
Sure,
share my screen and
sure,
just confirm once you guys can see it.
sure.
Okay,
Yep, I can see.
perfect. Okay, this no, yeah. So, folks, you guys have registered, so you obviously know we'll be talking about how we can leverage, videos across the buyer's journey. And nevertheless, video is something that is happening today. It's not like the future; it is really happening in the present. And Karthik is someone who has been very vocal about using videos in the marketing strategies. I've been following him for quite a while now, and he's someone who has been very vocal about the same. And it's exciting. I mean, it's going to be really interesting, in order to learn more from his experience across the video marketing space, be it B2B, be it B2C. Video still plays a major role, and which is why we are all grouped here to see what are the tricks and some secrets from his playbook as well. So, Karthik, thank you once again for joining here. So
Sure.
I'll just move on to the first question for the day. Okay, so I'm planning to start it on a lighter note, basically. I know, like when I started, I just told people that you've been here for almost 2 decades now, and what was a moment wherein you realized, like, wow, videos are really making a difference, and this is something we should be focusing on. So when did that moment happen to you? What made you realize that?
Yeah. So the first time I noticed that was, this happened in a B2B company that I was earlier working with, and we used to host events for our customers twice a year. And one used to happen in Boston, and the other one used to happen in London, to cater to different geographies. And we used to spend months preparing for these events, Lakshman. We used to spend a lot of time, effort, and money to plan these events, invite customers. And we also had thought leadership pieces in the sense like white papers, point of views, perspectives. Uh, these were authored by the who's who of the industry leaders, both within and outside Cognizant. And there used to be a lot of money spent on these thought leadership pieces that some of which we launched, some of which we plan to launch during the events along with customers. Now, what happened is, I think this was in 2014 or 13, I can't remember. So we were planning for this event in Boston. It was right in the summer. It was a huge attendance. There were lot of people signed up and coming in all day long. Leaders streaming in and speaking. And so we had this booth right just when you enter the place. We had this beautiful booth where we had a physical booth where we placed all the printed documents, all the point of views, all the white papers, the brochures, whatever we felt was apt for the occasion, and whatever we felt that we wanted to convey from an organization perspective, right? Now, at the same time, we also had a video, a close to 3.5 minute video clip that we did. It was almost a last minute scramble. It was a last minute scramble. 2 days before the event was went live, we kind of put together a video, uh, which considering today's standards, which I wouldn't say it was great, but it was good. It kind of captured a lot of essence that we wanted to convey through the event. We captured that, we had that video, um, and we played that video during the launch of the session. And in the first break, which was about close to an hour after the event was launched, there were a number of requests from the audience that we play the video back again.
Wow.
We couldn't. I mean, but while we understood that they were genuine requests and we had to do it, we did play that. In fact, not just once, we played it 3 times during the whole day, and we also had small booths, small kiosks with iPads where this video was being played and watched by customers multiple times. Now, the amazing fact is, the reason why I'm pointing out that is none of the physical copies of the white papers or the perspectives that were right there for everybody to access when they entered the hall or the audience, none of it was touched, Lakshman. Can you believe it? None of it was even ruffled. Nobody even bothered lifting it out of the rack and flipping a few pages to see what's inside it. So that was a humbling moment. No matter, even if the video was a last minute scramble, I think it taught us so many valuable lessons. And since then, I have been a fan of videos, and I'm still trying to discover myself, discover how we can put more videos since then. But yeah, that was the moment. That was the eureka moment. That stop all your physical printing, stop all your business cards. I mean, video is the way to go forward, is what I felt, Lakshman.
Awesome, awesome. I think that's exactly what I was looking for as well as an answer, because the transition that happened from printing papers and brochures, you spend hours and or probably weeks in creating those creatives, and all of a sudden something out of blue that comes in, and people it just gets etched on people's memory, and then it stays with them forever. Like, you still remember the advertisement you saw almost like 10 years back. If they replay it, I know the product, and the kind of brand recall you get, the kind of impact you make with the video is amazing. And that was a wonderful transition what you experienced as well. Awesome, Karthik. I think that lays the groundwork for the upcoming questions as well. So let me just jump on. So of course, we'll be talking about the buyer's journey today. And whenever you talk to a marketer, I think this is a common line I use in a lot of my posts as well. They usually talk about customer's journey and they talk about a marketing funnel. Like, without these, you cannot have a proper marketing conversation with a marketer at any point of time. But at the same time, these two are something which overlaps at time. It's probably, as a beginner, it gets difficult, to clearly differentiate between these two areas. But how exactly do you differentiate them, and what do you think that people should be focusing on?
Yeah, I think we've got to understand one thing, Lakshman, and that's marketing funnel is not a new concept. Marketing funnel is more than 120 years old. The first time it was used was in 1898. So the concept itself has stayed the same. Although we look at it differently, we put different names to it. I think the best way to figure out the buyer's journey and kind of segment it between the different streams or different sections of the funnel that a buyer is in a marketing funnel is to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. That's the first thing that you can do, and that means you can ask questions, go out, do a survey, or try a few ways of figuring out what is working for where are they. So uh, if people are spending more time on YouTube ads, more time on YouTube, then why not place a YouTube ad? I mean, they are far more cheaper than a Google ad, correct? And there are so many video platforms today that the number of video editing tools that you see. So it's really not at all difficult for any B2C, B2B company or startup company to have a video strategy across a marketing funnel. All that they need to do is figure out what is working for one section of the customers, test it, and then spread it out. It's not going to be, it's not, you don't have to spend hours and weeks and months planning out a video strategy. Video strategy uh, is about putting yourself in the buyer's shoes and looking at it from his lens, than going thinking that, oh, you know what, this is what my buyer needs. No, I mean, it doesn't work that way.
Awesome. Um, I think one key point I would take there is, how the way you described how videos have, come down from, a storyboard, a big production house. It's not the way it was, and how simplified it is today, and how easy it is for everyone to capitalize on not just production but also in marketing, like YouTube ads and multiple other areas wherein people can jump in and start using it. Um, Perfect. Uh, Let me just move on to my next question now. Okay. So obviously we understood how exactly the difference is, but how do you track your customer's journey? What are some of the ways to track the user's journey or the customer's journey?
I think the best way is surveys, and just ask them. I mean, even if you have got just one champion customer,
Yeah.
just go for it and ask him and try to know his life inside out. Understand his daily. What does he do on a daily basis? What are his challenges? Ask him those questions. See, when you are a B2C company, like 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 an Amazon or a Flipkart, or one of those big retail guys, the problem is, it's very difficult to segment it. So at that stage, you got to kind of have very basic questions that you can ask them when they're using the product, through a very minimal survey that pops up right when they're using the product. But then when you are a startup, or when you are, let's say you don't have a lot of customers, you have a niche set of customers. At that time, it's best to go on a video call with them. Put yourself out there, ask them to come on a video call. 15 minutes is all it takes, Lakshman, to unravel who your customer is. That's all it takes. But you will, the kind of knowledge, the kind of words that they use, record that. In fact, listening than a Joe Rogan's podcast, I'd always say, listen to that conversation that your customer spoke to you, because there are keywords that people are going to use, and that's exactly what your video marketing strategy will fuel.
Yes.
So answering your question, uh, talk to customers directly, and have that pop up in your product or wherever. Ask basic questions. What profession are you in? What are you using the product for? What feature you'd like to build? These are ways, that that's what your customers or your users are looking for.
Awesome. I think it just I can recollect a quick thought from one of the podcasts I listened to. It was from Drift, I believe, and I think they said, how exactly do you balance this customer interactions? And they said, we don't exactly. For example, if I'm if Karthik is one of my account, I don't say it's account A, or if the Picmaker team, I say how exactly is Karthik doing with my product. So once you start addressing people with their first names, that's how close they try and get to customers in today's scenario, because customer relationship and the success rate is gonna take your business to the next level, especially if you're in sales, right? And that's actually the best way one can put as well. If you want to learn your customer's journey, just go ahead and talk to them, like, hey, how did you actually land up in my product? How did you come to know about this? It's as simple as that. No big tools, no big stuff and all. That's nicely said, Karthik. Awesome. um so yes, now I'm just getting step by step, I'm just getting into the next level. So now that we have identified different stages wherein my customer has come in, how do I figure out the different videos I should be producing for that particular stage he is in? I know one video is not going to compensate the entire journey,
Yeah.
so obviously I need to personalize it and get it there. So how do I do it? How do I figure this out?
No, see, Lakshman, the thing is that it's very true what you just now said, and that is, one video is not going to cut it for you. So you definitely need a variety of uh, videos to engage your audience. Now, let's say somebody is in the awareness stage. At that stage, people aren't looking for the nitty gritties of your product, the features of your product. Nobody even knows your product. So at that stage, I think a branding video is good.
Yeah.
A quick 1.5 minute branding video, like how a Rolex does with probably Roger Federer.
Yeah.
It's not that Rolex is not known, but I'm trying to say that the kind of brands that they associate themselves with. I think that stage awareness is just about telling customers, hey, you know what, this is there, this is what happens. Um, maybe you could actually probably use a small feature and show the benefit, but that's just a how-to thing. But you don't have to really go deep into it when people are in the awareness stage. And by awareness, I mean people who come to the website, who are checking you out, they are not really ready to buy. And then we move to the next one where people have signed up for the product, but they are evaluating, correct? They are evaluating product A, product B, product C. And that stage, you go for a very detailed how-to videos, product explainer videos that, you know, probably product A gets you what you are looking for in 4 steps, but
Yeah.
product B gets you that in 2 steps.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit: savings in time, faster to market, going to scale. So these are things that you show in that consideration stage when people are about to make that decision. People are considering, okay, this is going to cost me $1,200 a year, this is going to cost me $600 a year, but which one gives me more? So those are the questions that they're going and visiting review platforms and all that. Now the third stage. So I'm going to I'm sticking to the buyer's funnel since we
Yeah.
spoke about it, Lakshman.
Yeah.
In the third stage, which is the final thing that customers are more or less, they've kind of figured out, yeah, it's going to be product A. I'm going to settle for product A. I like this. I like the feature. It's within my budget, or probably it's slightly beyond my budget, but I think the ROI is huge. I want to go for it. That is the stage when you show them testimonials. That is the ways when you show them, you know. So, and if you look at it, some of these SaaS companies are so smart at it. Like some of these companies, like a Basecamp or probably Intercom or Drift. I mean, they have a video, a customer testimonial video on their landing page.
Yeah.
Now that carries a lot of importance simply because video is motion in action. I mean, it shows that simply just than other than showing a simple picture and a few words about what a user or a customer said. Can I prove it through a video, through an impactful video that say the right kind of things that we want to know? And yeah, it goes without saying that those have to be authentic, those have to be original and all that.
Yeah.
But that stage, you show them testimonials that reinforces the perception that they've already built in their minds about you. And so that's how you break it out. But then again, you have to figure out what the strategy is. What is the quantity at each of these stages? If the funnel, obviously, when it looks too much at the top, you kind of slowly start finding different ways of optimizing, which we'll talk eventually. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Karthik. It's going to be really difficult for me to explain the point or add anything to it. You put it probably in the most perfect way. I don't know if people have their pen and paper, right next to them, but we'll be repurposing this content into a blog as well. So yeah, I have that as a question as well later on. But definitely, I think this is going to make one huge chunk of the content piece. That was like perfect, Karthik. Um, okay, so we spoke about like how exactly we should be creating those videos. Now, what video should I be creating? Like, there is real time, there is interviews. I know testimonials is one which you mentioned for one particular area, but for example, you mentioned the how to video, right? Let's say I'm giving a product demo. Like, how exactly do I choose whether I should, probably do a recorded video with Vmaker, or probably I should go to Animaker and create a 2D animation video? So there are multiple options within video as well. So how do I pick and choose one particular video format and then, stick to it? Like, how do you choose that?
Yeah, great question. How do I choose? How do I make the choice between different types of videos? Correct.
Yeah.
Now, I think again, I'll hark back to the SaaS example because I really feel they are using the video strategy very smartly than B2B companies. Now, B2B companies, from what I have seen, maybe just take examples of a McKinsey or a Deloitte or PCG. They pour in tons of money, Lakshman, into thought leadership videos. So they probably are going to the Davos, uh, go to Davos in Switzerland every year, and have probably an Elon Musk or a Bill Gates shoot him there.
Yeah.
Have a proper video strategy. That's the interview strategy. Interviews that you put, but it costs a lot. It costs a lot to for. I mean, I don't even know if companies have the budget to have an Elon or a Bill to speak there. But the one thing that I'll surely say is you don't have to always have them talking in interviews. You can even have experts talking in interviews. You can have VPs of sales talking. You can have VPs of marketing. You can have the CMOs. You can have VPs of customer support. Why isn't anybody interviewing VPs of customer support? They are probably the closest to customers. So that's when you use interviews. Real time. I've seen YouTubers doing it very smartly. I've seen them. They quickly. Pick up a product, they show how it's working, they show it on Instagram, sometimes they use YouTube, they use um, LinkedIn Live to show how it works. Sometimes it's conversation, sometimes it's about a product feature. So it really depends where the audience is, or how how quickly you can, if you've tested it on Instagram, go for it. You're seeing more people coming through. Doodles and animations, I think these are very good for product features, product, to show how products work, or how a particular small feature works. You launched a new feature that you think will create a splash in the market, go for it with doodles. Again, don't stretch it. 1.5 minutes is, it's still too much. I think 60 seconds, 75 seconds, max is 90 seconds. I mean, stop the video there, because human attention span is just shrinking so much, right? So those are that's where I'll put a doodle or probably an animated video. And in terms of screen records, so screen records is also very similar to a product launch, or if you want to show sometimes on a one-on-one basis, um, how a screen record, how something works. And you don't want to put it out on YouTube yet, because it's a little scratchy, it's not polished, it doesn't have your logo, it doesn't, there are no edits, but you want to quickly record it on your screen, and it has probably a limited audience. Go for screen records. Don't stop. I mean, that's one quick way of getting across your point. You can be sitting anywhere, your customer can be anywhere, or your team member can be anywhere. But yeah, screen records there. I'm a huge fan of screen records these days, Lakshman.
Awesome. I think one, like, we exactly are figuring out different ways in which people have started using screen records today as well. I think that has been one of the biggest find personally for me after starting this webinar as well. But yeah, I love the point where you said how exactly you can use doodles and screen records in different facets. How exactly are they solving the issue you are facing. So I think one quick take would be, like, if it is going to be, if you have a good budget kitty, go for interviews, go for real-time videos with a good production setup. Definitely it's going to give you the outcome, but have that budget in mind. Doodles, 2-minute videos, short attention span, explainer videos and animation, etc. And screen records, obviously personalized one-on-one communication. So yep, I think that was well put together, Karthik. Thanks once again for that. So yeah, this is exactly how I started my conversation. Videos are not the future anymore, they are the present. And you exactly started with the other side of the line, wherein you said how I saw the transition from a flyer to a video making the impact of what exactly we wanted. So how are you seeing video marketing evolve over the years? How exactly it is happening, and maybe let's make it a little hotter. What do you see the future with video marketing, how it's going to shape up? It's prediction time, I should say.
Yeah. So I've seen a few companies who are doing it very smartly, although I don't remember which company this was, but I remember seeing a video of this company, and they were so smart that when you finish, the video was embedded on their website. When you finished watching this video, a form appeared right there on the video screen. So the form was embedded, hard coded, so you could type in your name, your email ID, and you will receive the product demo, or the ebook, or whatever you're signing up for. I think today retailers are going one step more, and they're probably giving you a buy button inside the video itself. So
Yep.
so that's like capturing the buyer where he or she is, and that's the smartest way.
Yep.
Having said that, I think the future of video marketing is not going to be quality; it's going to be quantity.
Oh,
I
okay.
think gone are the days when, like you said just now, having big production setup. I mean, that's such a cliched word today. Given the number of options that you can produce videos,
Yep.
do you really need a production setup? Do you really need to throw money on actors and figure out your video strategy? Why not have someone from the company do it? Do it on the fly. And do it, send it out, show it to people, take feedback, improve on it. I think that's how it's going to evolve, is what I feel. And yeah, there will be creative things that we just spoke about in terms of capturing the buyer's attention wherever he or she is. But I think it is definitely going to be, do it quickly, because otherwise you're going to lose out on the race. And I saw one video by, I think a few days back, I saw a video by Mailchimp. They've done a fabulous job in terms of just bringing out the user stories. It's a 3-minute video clip, so
Yep.
they are picking out personalities across different geographies. So there is somebody who's working in Morocco who uses Mailchimp. There's somebody who's in Egypt who works on Mailchimp. There's somebody who's in London who works on that, and they're bringing out their stories, that the challenges that they face, the small business shops. So that's what marketing is, right? Marketing is about stories, telling it. So
Exactly.
people identify. So the reason why Lakshman today I'm talking to Lakshman is because I think a lot of my wavelength matches with Lakshman. I know that what Lakshman is thinking of as a marketer from his perspective. So I want to talk to him, understand his perspective. Yeah. So I think it's about the storytelling aspect for video that's always going to be there and evolve more, Lakshman.
Perfect. I think once again, I mean, you mentioned about how exactly creatively people are making videos, and I think we are having this conversation at the right time, probably a week late, but the kind of ads that were shown on Super Bowl, probably a couple of weeks back, and especially the one from Reddit, which got millions of views for a 3 second ad, which didn't have anything, absolutely, and still they managed to grab almost like I think 20 million views or something within the next one day or so. And that exactly what you have mentioned here as well with the evolution of video marketing. It's going to be about creativity and it's going to be about quantity. It's not about quality. You don't have to, like, one good example is how we both are making videos right here, with a very small budget setup, and
Yeah.
we still manage to produce good videos right here. I think this is a live lesson for people who are watching as well. So if you guys are planning to start your videos, there shouldn't be any hindrance for you to start as well.
Yeah.
Great, Karthik. Okay. Oh, okay. There is a spell check. Sorry for that. So, what are your thoughts on asynchronous communication? Now, one of the reason why I want to bring this is, I mean, with the onset of the remote working culture and everything, communication has taken a very bad hit, especially for people, like, either there is too many meetings, or there are too many meetings, or there are no meetings at all. That's how it is. And when you are at office, the kind of communication you have is different. Voluntarily or involuntarily, you keep people updated with what exactly is happening, but right now your teammates are not comparatively updated as they would be when you're working from office as well. So again, it's too much to bug them, for every once in a while, about every tiny update that's happening. So asynchronous communication is something that is helping to solve the issue. But what are your thoughts, on this particular kind of communication that's popping up right now?
Yeah, I think although the word asynchronous communication might sound
Yeah.
little big, but I think it is here to stay, Lakshman. The reason why I'm saying that is because, like you rightly pointed out, the upheaval last year, 2020, the way we saw things evolve, the way we saw people hop on to internet and spend so much more percentage than they would have already done, than they would probably do in a 2009, in 2019 or
Yep.
18.
Yep.
I think it's going to be more towards unorganized way of communicating. I'm not calling disorganized. I'm calling unorganized, but you still get the message across. Imagine a VP of let's say engineering sitting across in the US, sending a message to people who are going to wake up in Beijing, New Delhi, Mumbai, Shanghai, a video overnight and saying, hey team, this is what we've finished. This is what is the issue. You need to fix it when you come to office. That's just a quick 1 minute or 1.5 minute or 2 minute clip. He sends it to his team, and that team wakes up and just sees what the issue is right in front of them, fixes it there and then. Correct. Instead
Yep.
of writing long drawn emails and
Yep.
communicating the point, I think this form of unorganized way of communicating is the need, is what is going to take precedence. And I was thinking about this when you asked this. Uh, I think there are going to be many more ways of communicating through videos. It's not just from the organization to the customer. It's also from the customer to the organization. We are all aware of how, when something goes wrong with your flight ticket, or when somebody charges you extra,
Yep.
you vent that out on social media, correct? But what if somebody's let's say one of these jet one of these airplane providers, what if they give you the ability to load a video of what happened with you? What if they let you record a video and send it to you live there on the platform, or maybe have it all up on their website, or probably one way of communicating. I think those are awesome use cases of letting customers take over and expressing themselves. So that way the customers have the satisfaction that, what, I did a video and there is somebody who's looking into it right now, into my issue, and I know it's going to be fixed by the end of the day. So those are various forms of reassuring and attending to your customers needs. And that is where asynchronous communication comes in. So, like I said before, it's not big budgets, it's not models, it's not going to be actors, it's going to be actual humans, authentic, original humans who are going to do this. They have got their own mistakes, they have their own imperfections, but yet they have their own challenges, and they are the user, they are the customer. I think in that form, asynchronous communication is going to really do. There's going to be a lot of it that we're going to see.
Awesome. I think in my first webinar, I had Ruben from the customer support team, to join me, and one thing he mentioned was how exactly they ask the customers to record a quick video of the issue they are facing and then send it to them, and they kind of start communicating through videos. And if I need to add your point on top of it, the kind of assurance you provide to the customer when they see your face and they acknowledge your issue and they say that, okay, like, I understand this is the issue and I'm going to take care of it. The kind of assurance and the kind of impact the video creates is like amazing. And again, over to your first example, if there is an issue, just send a quick video of what exactly is the issue so that you can detail it out and the next person can start working on it, even if there is a time zone difference. You don't have to wait for a meeting and then get started with it. Just send them a quick 1 minute video. Yep, I think that's definitely going to change, and it is here to stay, and hopefully for a long time as well. uh,
Yeah.
so, I mean, one thing, Karthik, whenever we talk about videos, or, I'll make it, probably approach it in a different way. Whenever we talk about, content marketing, at least like 90% of the people still, visualize blogs immediately for some reason. They immediately think about, blogs. Okay, how do I write content? Okay, how do I write a blog? That's how, the association is even now. But to be honest, video is just another content format, and it's just going to be a part of your existing marketing activity. Whatever the blog has done, the written form content has done for you, it's going to be replaced by videos. So and I know you would have also faced this challenge, when you had to, like, instead of considering video as a separate line of activity, how to blend it to your current activity. How do you start thinking, as a video, probably a video first strategy, is something we can call. So how did you start implementing it, and how do you work on that?
Yeah, I think uh, in terms of video, in terms of implementing a video first strategy, I think the first thing is to recognize the fact that, um, you know, and I'll keep going to that point, not to get hung over spending a lot of time and money over it. So I would say that, get the scratchy videos out. People are fine by seeing your imperfections. That's okay. Why I'm saying this is because I was talking to a YouTuber yesterday. She's a host of a food show, of a recipe and a food show. She has about 700 people on YouTube, 700 followers on YouTube, and her videos are really awesome. And she's been growing it for 2 years, and this is something that an experienced YouTuber like her, she said this, and that is that you know there are times in her show, in her cookery show, in her recipe show, when she's not able to get the perfect blend. She's not able to get the perfect recipe out. There are times when it goes wrong, but she's fine to admit it. She's fine to say that, okay, yeah, this happened, but this is what you prevent, this is what you don't do, versus this is how you do it. Everybody is not a master chef. Everybody is not a celebrity chef that you get the picture perfect dish every time. But she said, I showed my this is where I kind of showed myself that, even I am human, and that is authentic. That's what people want from you. So in terms of having a video first strategy, I think the first thing to understand here is figure out what videos you want to do, figure out how do you want to do that, like we spoke about the different stages of the funnel. And always, when you're done with your video, make sure that you're putting the subtitles in the place,
Yeah.
and getting the script and putting it out on your blog, putting it out on your tutorial, getting the video script out and putting it on your FAQs, and embedding that video as well. So that way you give multiple options for people to interact with the content that you're putting out. People who have longer attention spans will probably read through your FAQ or your blog, but those of them who are probably traveling, they want to quickly consume it, I think they're going to see the video. And uh, I think it is very important that we reuse video, no matter how big or small it is. I think we have to figure out that no matter. So we're speaking for close to 30 minutes now, right? I mean, there have for each of these questions a small clip of a video, right, that can be used elsewhere, and you can grow. And storage, Lakshman, today we're talking about. We don't even have to talk about storage. Storage is exploding, right? I mean, you don't have to figure out what is your storage or how much do you spend on storage. I think so that's why I feel marketing video first strategy should have different prongs, different outlets for your videos to go and greet the world than just sitting on a simple YouTube or on your website.
Perfect. I think scrappy videos, is the way to start. Like anyone, if you don't regret your first video after looking at it, after years, then you haven't done it right. It's more like creating your first email ID,
Yeah.
I should say. So yeah, that is insightful, and I think you answered my next question almost there. I had my heart in my mouth, like, okay, I'm gonna waste this question, but still I'm gonna ask. I know you touched upon it, but again, can we just detail it out on the views on repurposing video content? I know how exactly you said, probably this webinar, it's 30 minutes long, and you can probably chop it up into 10 different videos, answering each question. So how do I, probably one step ahead, how do I distribute these videos? What do I do with the repurposed content, and what are the ways, other forms apart from videos, I can repurpose the same?
Yeah, like I said, sorry if I have jumped into the question, didn't realize that. But in terms of when you shoot the video, obviously you have some words behind it. So why not write a blog out of it and embed that? Can you explore? Do you think the video that you just now shot with somebody, let's say more probably it's a video show, it's an interview that you did with an external customer or an external influencer, can you extract the audio file and put it on your podcast? Is that a smart way of distributing?
Yeah.
Can is and let's say yeah, we did speak about chunking off portions of large videos and distributing it. But let's say imagine a company or a startup has a proper has a video first marketing strategy, and they have a number of videos across the same theme. Can you create a bloopers video and show it? Because that way you're showing that yeah, I am doing awesome videos, but you know what, I'm also making a tons of mistakes just like you. So
Yeah.
this is what, so I think that's the portion that we should be looking for, and figuring out ways of linking it to your content from different ways, right? From your blogs, from your YouTubes. A lot of people I've seen spend time shooting YouTube videos and then just leave it there. But YouTube has got a proper way of search in YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So why aren't we optimizing the content there? Why aren't we adding the relevant hashtags? Why aren't we spending time in creating a thumbnail for it? Or why aren't we spending enough time in probably putting in subtitles, or filling out the descriptions? Why aren't we doing that? So those are ways of distributing. There are ways people are going to find your content. There are
Yeah.
ways that the YouTube algorithm is going to surface your videos based on what you are putting in. So I think those are distribution techniques. Getting your search engine optimization strategy right for videos is going to be a huge thing. Um, Again, having said that, I'll reiterate once again, uh, the future of video marketing is not about being perfect. The future for video marketing is about quick and fast, and create content that resonates with people, resonates with the audience, authentic, original. Don't wait for perfection. I remember, I'll say this example. I used to host a podcast until some time back, which we are planning to revive now. But I was chasing an influencer for a long time. He was based in the US. I was chasing him for a long time. He didn't probably have the time to respond, but I was hoping that we'll be able to interview him sometime. And I was sending him messages over LinkedIn multiple times. And you know what he did? He realized that how much his time meant to us. So he was willing to. So he realized that he was willing to spend his time with us on a podcast, on a video show, and he sent me a very small 60-second clip of why he couldn't take my attend to my
Wow.
mails or reply to my mails. And that has stayed with me forever. I will always, whenever I open LinkedIn, I will always remember that gesture, that he has actually cut across probably thousands of miles and come across to you as a person who's humble, who's willing to spend his time 30 minutes with you for a podcast. So I think that is exactly how, when you said scratchy, I think that's exactly, and that video had no branding. It didn't have
Yeah.
his logo. It didn't have his website. So it was like quick on the go. I mean, he recorded on his mobile and send it to me 1 minute. How long does it take to do that? So I think that's what we are headed for. Figuring out ways to repurposing is, I would say that definitely implement it in your website, in your blogs, even in your YouTube descriptions. Don't forget to do that. Put it out on different channels, in podcasts, in other people's maybe even distribute. Say that, hey, you know what, I shot this video do you want to refer this in your website? So I think those are ways of distributing it. We do guest blogs. Why not guest videos? I mean, these are different ways of distributing.
It's an interesting term for everyone to try guest videos, guest. I think there was a term called guestographics, where they say guest infographics.
Yeah.
You created. I think guest videos could, probably be a thing for everyone to try it out. I'm actually, interested in trying that out. I'll probably let you know how it went later on. But yeah, I think Karthik, couldn't think of a fitting finish, for the conversation we started. That was like pretty perfect and pretty neat the way you ended it as well, not just on repurposing videos but also creating those supplementary videos around the main video. For example, behind the scenes, the kind of retakes I need to do, all these things, they probably have a wider reach than the actual video in many times as well. And yep, I cannot think of a better way than that to finish. So
I'll, I'll finish. I'll just have one last thing to add there when you spoke about retakes. I'm forgetting this the Scotch whiskey brand that was very famous for one of its videos. They probably shot it over 2 days. They were, I think, in all 31 takes, and every take. So I think the actor or who was doing it was becoming better at after each take, and towards, let's say, I think the 20th or the 22nd take, it was the perfect shot. So he kept giving on perfect shots one after the other. But the one that went viral was the ones where the bloopers were the ones where they had made mistakes, the dialogue delivery, or I think that's where we show the human aspect of it, Lakshman. I think that those are awesome ways, those are awesome insights that marketers should take away from it. Yeah.
perfect, Karthik. I think hopefully I have a blooper around this. I think probably the initial thing which we didn't record, something I should try publishing later on as well. Might be a hit. But yeah, Karthik, it was like such a wonderful conversation I had so far. Thanks once again for putting together the pieces in the best way possible. That was like I think storytelling is something which was highlighted on your LinkedIn profile when I looked into it today as well. And I kind of believe that even all your answers you had today was also in a particular format wherein they were all just stories, so that people not just listen to it but they also remember it once they leave the podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome, Karthik. I'll just read out some questions. We just have a few questions here as well.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I'll just read it out to you, and you can probably answer the same. So the first one from Anton Fisher is, what tools do you suggest to get started with video marketing?
Um, so the first thing is, uh, I would surely urge people to get familiar with YouTube, figure out how the YouTube studio works, how you put content in, become comfortable with it, learn to be uncomfortable with, with video, first of all, I would say. So, and figuring out how do you edit it, how do you upload, when you upload it, what happens to it, what are the terms and conditions that you fill in, how do you put the tags in. Those are things in YouTube. YouTube itself is a huge ocean that you want to understand. If you are a marketer who struggles day in day out on Google, I'm sure you will understand the pain of mastering YouTube. So that's number one, I would say. The other product, I think there are tons of video editing products here, Lakshman, but I don't want to name any particular product. But the reason why I don't want to name it is because I don't think there is any one product that satisfies all your product needs.
That's right.
You just have to try out different products, figure out what works for you. Like for example, Animaker is for animation, correct? You cannot take an interview video there and hope to edit it unless it's a comedian's or it's a funny video, correct? But then that's why you need to figure out. Be comfortable with the tool that you want to use. There are tons of them. Figure out one or two on YouTube, see how they work, see what customers are saying, and then figure out that. So, but before that, places like YouTube is a huge. Learn to be uncomfortable with YouTube. That's something that I would definitely urge people, because you would have crossed a big chasm if you do that.
Awesome. I think I'm not gonna be as genuine as Karthik there. If you want to start Anton, get started with Vmaker and Animaker. We just have two tools there. Uh, I think he was just being very generous. Not to point out any tools. I'm just gonna say straight away. But yeah, I think Karthik, that's one good point you said is no one tool is going to help you to do everything. It's just about going ahead, testing the tool, and then you identify like what exactly is my sweet spot. Finally you might even find that animation is not my thing. I probably want to do live videos, or probably live videos is not my thing. I want to go and do
Yeah.
animated videos. But the best way is to try out everything there, including the retakes and bloopers as well, and then probably judge which one is going to work for you. um, I'll just move on to the next question, Karthik. This is from Dave Phillip, and animated videos versus videos made by people real time. What do you think will work the best?
Again, very difficult question to answer, but as much as I would love to go with the animated. I feel the real takes are the best ones, Lakshman. The reason why I'm saying that is because I have seen that work. I've seen people in my organizations before, in the B2B startups that I work for, recording, pulling out the mobiles from their pocket, shooting a video. Sales reps, people, young sales reps who had just been 1 or 2 years into the workforce, they using it so well, so smartly, saying that, hey, you know what, I couldn't take your call. That's all. The message that they're conveying is not through an email. What they're
Yeah.
trying to say is, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't take the call with you, but are you free at 9 p.m. today? Can get on a call then? And that's it. They send it by video. So I think there are some smart people, there are really some smart sales reps who know how to use a video strategy without, the formal way of going about it, a huge way of producing and after production, edits and all that. I think these are the smartest guys who are doing it very well, in terms of, taking the product, using the scrappy videos out there.
Yep. So yeah, I think the answer would be real time, but on a lighter note, it would be again subjective. If I recollect the answer from the first question, so it's up to people to try out what exactly that works. But I get it, like from your experience, but definitely as a salesperson, it's going to be live videos. If they can create that connect, I think it's going to be great as well.
Yeah.
The next one is from Nimisha, and so she says, I can record videos without an issue, but editing is not my best friend. I cannot hire an editor right now, but how do I fasten this process? Okay, this is actually a question for me as well.
Yeah, sure. I think editing. See, Lakshman, I would again say, using a video editing software, like we said before, just a while back, it's just the it's just the thing about being familiar with it.
Yep.
If you asked me, if Nimisha had asked me this question 2 years back, I wouldn't have been able to answer. But today, I am familiar with tools like iMovie, and yeah, I am familiar with. When I joined Animaker, I wasn't familiar with Animaker, but last couple of months, I figured how to use it at least up to the extent of 50%, and it's just getting your hands dirty, Nimisha. It's just getting your hands dirty. Don't have the inhibitions that you have to spend tons of money to edit a video. It's just about doing it quickly on the fly. You don't have to be perfect. That's what we've been trying to say. Don't try perfection. You will never ever go to market with it. Go do it. And this again, this I'll again say this. When I spoke to the YouTuber yesterday, she's based in the US, and she said this, that she's actually a flight attendant, and
Okay.
she says that for years she was thinking about how to produce good food videos, good recipe videos, but she didn't have a single video for a whole 2 years. She didn't have a single video in place, and then just as a spark, she realized that she has to put out videos. She has to do it to figure out how to do that. And yeah, she's been doing it all along. She doesn't have an editor for it. She does it all by herself. So I think it's about getting familiar, getting your hands dirty, and doing it step by step. Don't overwhelm yourself. Maybe a weekend, just spend
Yeah.
time 4 hours over a weekend. I think you would have covered miles into video editing.
Yep. Perfect. I think probably you don't have to be the best. If you are planning to get started, and probably once you get the grip of it, once you get the cusp of how exactly things work, and
Correct.
then you can probably go towards perfection and work around quality, instead of quantity. That's well put, Karthik. Okay, just before I get on to the next question, I think Javin, he just switched his video back on. So Javin, can you please post a link to our community, on the chat? People who are listening, if you guys are, planning to join us, week on week, please do join us in our community. And there is the link. We have the Slack channel, we have the Facebook community. You can just join us there, and we'll have this wonderful conversations going on every alternative Friday. So yep. Thanks, Javan. Thanks for doing the same. I'll just read out the next question.
Sure.
Uh, so this is from Josh, and he asked, "What would be the budget allocation for a video marketing model?" Okay, that's a question everyone want to ask.
Okay, it's going to be very expensive, and I don't know the exact rates, but models don't come cheap, um, and
Oh,
you know,
I think
what
it's
was
more
it?
about video marketing model instead of a video model.
Oh, okay. So, video marketing model. Yeah, again, I think given the kind of software that there are out there, I don't think the budget is going to be high. There are pay-per-use seats that are available for as little as $15, $20. It depends on what you really want. But my suggestion there is try the basic package for 15, 20, $25. See what you get out of it. How much of storage do you get? How much can you download? What kind of features they're giving? Are they giving you? Is it? Are you kind of comfortable editing that? So I think that's what you need to test out, and then you can decide whether you want to go for a pro, which is going to cost you $50, $150
Yeah.
to it. But I would strongly urge people to start off with the base pack at $25 or $30 or whatever the starting base packaging is, and see the features, because you're bound to learn more as you go along. So figuring that out is a journey in itself. So scaling that, the number of seats that you need, but the package itself, budgets are so cheap, Lakshman. It's so cheap. It's not like, I remember working in B2B companies 6 years, 7 years back, and people used to take entire 3 months to plan their marketing budgets when, startups are doing it inside 3 days or probably 3 hours. So I think nimbleness is the name of the game here, Lakshman.
I think George, if you are really evaluating some of the tools, you can actually check with Javan. He has been helping us doing a lot of video edits. Obviously, we have been bugging him, and I'm pretty sure he would have a lot of hands-on knowledge. With a lot of editing suits. So yeah, he's a guy you need to point out too. Thanks, Karthik. One last question before we close out, and this is again an interesting one. How do you differentiate video marketing between a B2B and a B2C business?
Yeah, I think if you look at companies like an Amazon, which I would describe them as a B2C, I think they are very smart in their videos. While they show the pictures of a product, let's say a mobile phone that you want to buy on Amazon, you've been saving up for it for months, you want to buy it, and you've been watching different videos. But then when you go to Amazon, you see the different pictures. The first is a picture, second is a picture, third is also a picture, but the fourth is a video. Fourth is a video of somebody who's holding the mobile. He or she is twirling it in their hands. They're showing the camera. So I think B2C companies are more they are more creative. They're more innovative, and they're more faster to the market than B2B. B2B companies, from my experience at least, they take ages. I remember this incident when we were doing videos for events. So people used to use costly, expensive software which had to be installed, which probably took hours to install, like an Adobe package on your
Yeah,
laptop and
yeah.
computer. And the video editor or the video creator who was working on it, he would just give us, when we used to tell him that, hey buddy, when can we expect the video from you? He would just give one simple answer: it is rendering. We kind of got used to in fact, we even named him Render. His name, I can't take his name there, but it used to be so frustrating to, so I think the those days are gone. It's about, flip it out of your pocket. And that's why B2C companies are doing it very smartly. So it doesn't take ages for them to put out videos on social media. Probably yes, they would. It's not to say that they don't have branded videos that are expensive, that have been shot professionally. I'm not saying that, but then that has a purpose. So they are quick. They are probably quick in, like we spoke about how customer support, how they're using in customer
Yep,
support,
yep,
all of that. I think they are very nimble that way.
yep. I feel like the corporate videos definitely takes out quite a lot of time compared to shooting a product video, and a corporate video. It definitely changes the game. But I also feel like people are speeding up the process, especially like you said, how exactly are different functions of the business using it: customer support, sales people, like you said, how when somebody misses a meeting, just record a video and send it. It does kind of brings the duration down. We just have one more question coming in.
Sure.
So would would you talk about your product, read it as a software product in your video, or show them your product itself in your video? Oh, okay, this is actually a nice question. So should I be just talking about my product in my video, or should I also show the product and then talk about it? What is the best way? Okay.
Show it. Why are you hiding? Why
Yeah.
are, I mean, I don't. So again, I'll narrate an incident here. This happened with one of, again, in a B2B setup. We were recording a product. We were recording, screen recording a product, and we were taking pictures of it and putting it out on different platform. And um, our manager, reporting manager, came and said, "Hey, you know what? When you do that, our competitors are going to copy this product, and they're going to, come out with their product." Back then, we were so scared when we heard that. Oh, does that mean loss of revenues? Those were the terms that hunkered over our heads. But today, you have to do that. That's the first way to
Yeah.
get authentication. That's the first way to get feedback about your product. So why are
Exactly.
you not showing your product? I think you should definitely show your product. It's okay if it's still not completely developed, but please go to the market, show it via screen record. This is how it feature works. This is how it's easy. It's 2 taps. It's 3 clicks. It's a single click. Download is here. Those are things that people want to see. Than I would rather see a video myself than go and try a product and figure it out for myself. So show it off. If you have it, show it off, flaunt it.
Think in short, your product is your hero, and you shouldn't be hiding your hero from the picture. It should always be there. Awesome,
Yeah.
Karthik. I think with that we have come to a closure. We
Sure.
don't have any other questions. So guys, if you have any questions, please join us in the community and just post us there. And I'm pretty sure Karthik is a part of our Facebook group. I'm not sure about the
Yes.
Slack channel, but he'll definitely answer your questions, and we are also there to help you out with the same as well. Karthik, once again, thanks for joining. I know I said it would take around like 30 minutes, but I've taken almost an hour now.
I'm
uh,
glad.
but I should say, this conversation went like a breeze. When I started, I started saying that you have 2 decades of experience, and we are here to hear stories about what exactly happened with the transition, with the way you have adapted to the new video marketing strategy. And I think we have stuck to the same. We so far have heard a lot of stories from your experience, and I'm pretty sure I personally have gained a lot of new things to try out. And if there is one thing that's going to go into my diary today, it's going to be about guest videos. I'm definitely interested in trying that out. So thanks once again, Karthik. Any ending notes from your end?
No, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like you said, it was a breeze. Only when I hovered, just now when I hovered my mouse to the top of the screen, I realized it's almost 10 p.m. here in India. But it's been such a fabulous thing, such a fabulous experience talking to you. And I'm so glad that the kind of questions that came through. I think I would leave people with the thoughts that please do not think that videos are beyond you. Videos are very well within your reach. All that you need is a mobile phone or a desktop and an internet connection. That's all you need to record videos. You don't need you don't need tons of software. You don't need software that takes hours to download, and you don't need that kind of software. You just need to be fleet-footed, nimble, like I said, and don't worry about editing, paying for editing and all that. I think it's just very straightforward getting it done. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome, Karthik. Thanks once again. Thanks for the note. And hopefully we do one more session in the future. And we are looking forward to, get your podcast restarted, in the future. We are really looking forward to listen to the same as well.
Sure.
Awesome, Karthik. Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
once
Absolutely. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank
again,
you.
Karthik.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, yep. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you're looking forward to, attend the next session as well, you will get the email notification pretty quickly. You can also visit vmaker.com/webinars in order to know about the next upcoming sessions, and you can register yourself. We have another special guest joining us, the week after, the coming week. So, yep. See you guys all there. And Karthik, thank you once again. Joe, and thanks a lot for
Cheers.
being there. Thank you
Cheers,
once again.
guys. Bye, Lakshman. Bye, Joe.
Bye bye.